Before greatness comes nothing. Before success comes silence, hunger, and shame. This is the story of a man who thought he had nothing until he discovered he already had everything. They say your life is shaped by your thoughts. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "What you think about, you become." But if that's true, why do so many people remain trapped in failure? Why do millions dream of wealth yet die in poverty? The truth is simple. Because most never change their mindset. They believe they have nothing to give, and so they remain beggars forever. But one man, an invisible man on a railway platform, proved that even a beggar could transform into a businessman. In a crowded railway station where trains roared and smoke filled the air, there lived a beggar. Day after day, he stretched out his hand, waiting for coins, surviving on scraps. To him, life was only about taking. He thought he had nothing to offer. One morning, a wealthy businessman in a crisp suit passed by. The beggar rushed forward, hand outstretched. But instead of money, the businessman gave him words that cut deeper than hunger. "Do you always just take from others? Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar froze. No one had ever asked him that before. That night, he couldn't sleep. The words burned in his mind. If you believe you have nothing to give, then you also have no right to ask. Days passed. His stomach growled, but something was shifting inside him. Then, one afternoon, his eyes caught a patch of wildflowers blooming by the railway tracks. Bright, beautiful, alive. For the first time, he thought, what if I give these to people when they give me coins? What if I offer something in return? The next morning, trembling with uncertainty, he tried. A coin dropped into his hand. He smiled, nervous, unsure, and offered a flower. And something incredible happened. The stranger's face lit up. They smiled back. They thanked him. For the first time in his life, the beggar felt the power of exchange. Day after day, he gave flowers for coins. And day after day, people gave more. When the flowers ran out, the money slowed. When the flowers were plenty, the coins flowed like never before. The truth was undeniable. People give more when you give first. Weeks later, as he handed out flowers, he saw the same businessman again. The beggar rushed forward, no longer empty-handed. "Sir," he said, "today I have something to give. If you give me money, I will give you flowers in return." The businessman smiled, handed him cash, and said, "You are no longer just a beggar. You have become a businessman." Those words hit harder than any coin ever could. Businessman. For the first time, he was seen not as a beggar, not as worthless, but as someone of value. And in that moment, something inside him broke free. He realized, I was never a beggar. I was always capable. I just never believed it. But transformation is never easy. There were days he had no flowers, no coins, no food. Moments when doubt whispered, "You are nothing. Go back to begging." The temptation to return to the old life was strong, but he remembered the truth. We only receive when we give. And so he refused to return to the shadows. 6 months later, the same station. 2 men shook hands. Both well-dressed, both successful. But one of them paused, staring at the other. "Wait, do I know you?" The other man smiled. "Yes, we met twice before. Once when you refused to give me money, and again when you bought flowers from me." The businessman's eyes widened. You were the beggar?" "No," the man said, his voice steady. "I was never a beggar. I was always a businessman. I just didn't see it yet." Today, he owned a thriving flower business. He no longer begged. He traded. He built. He created. Because the truth is this: You are what you believe yourself to be. Life is shaped by how you see yourself. If you believe you are small, you will remain small. But if you recognize your inner potential, you can build an empire from nothing. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You don't have to wait until you have enough. Start with what you have, where you are. Because greatness is not about resources. Greatness is about mindset. So remember, you are not a beggar. You are a builder. You are not empty. You are overflowing with potential. And when your thoughts change, your future changes too. If this story spoke to you, share it, leave a like, subscribe, and never forget, your story is not over yet.